Hello, welcome to your weekly picture crystal reading here at Soulprint. Thank you very, very much for being here. I'm just going to move these up a bit so they're centered a bit better. Alrighty, so this is for the week of November 22nd through the 29th. If you are in the United States, happy Thanksgiving. It's coming up at the end of this week. And of course, that signals the beginning of the shopping season, heaven knows, and the holiday season. So it's quite a busy week going forward. Let's take a look at what the crystals have in store for you, shall we? We're looking at pink, green, blue. It's as simple as that. Um, and let's just get started, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, we're going to start with this very, very pale, very, very smooth rose quartz. Alrighty. The Eight of Cups, the Two of Cups, Four of Pentacles, and the Magician. An interesting combination. Alrighty. Okay, so the Eight of Cups, generally speaking, represent sort of abandoning a path, disillusionment, emotionally just unfulfilled, disappointment, sadness. Okay. It is a card of contemplation. It's a card where you are looking at basically where you've come from or what you've just experienced and looking at how you're going to move forward from this place. And it's a hard place. There's no sugarcoating it. It's a hard place to be in. There's sadness there. But you have the Two of Cups and the Four of Pentacles and the Magician. All right. The Two of Cups tends to be about about partnerships, right? It is about your emotions, right? And very often it can signify an important union, a balance coming into a relationship. Sometimes it can even represent reconciliation. Four Pentacles. This is about holding. It's not about it's sort of like being too cautious. It's sometimes almost like being afraid to sort of put yourself out there honestly because mm, you've already been hurt, right? It can be about, being a little bit miserly, right? Being very, very careful with your money or your assets and what you're doing with them. And then the magician is about serendipity. It is about magic. It's about things just sort of strangely coming together in a way that work out. Alrighty, so let's take a look at this. I don't know, for some of you, this may very well represent a difficulty in a relationship. It could be a love relationship, it could be a family relationship, it could be between, a parent and a child, it could be between siblings, husband and wife, whatever it is. Um, there's definitely been a hard patch. I think that's how I want to say it, like a rough patch. Be careful that you don't become so set in your ways, so completely focused on your perspective that you don't leave any room for a little bit of healing magic to come into place. One of the things that we come to understand as we get a little bit older is that time really, really is short. And we shouldn't waste it either hanging on to something whose time has passed or being, angry about something that can't change or even shouldn't change. it's important that with the Eight of Cups here, this is a card of ultimately of healing. It is about facing the disappointment and finding your pathway forward. It's not about sitting in the gloom and doom. It's about recognizing what's happened and being able to move forward from it. With the Two of Cups there, either this has to do with some sort of a relationship that has connected to this, or it very easily could represent the beginning of a new relationship, a new start. It could represent somebody coming in to support you and help you move through this healing. But again, the Four of Pentacles, she's not changing her message. Her message literally is um, be careful that you don't have such tunnel vision about how you feel or what you think or how things unfolded, that you just completely close yourself down. You shut yourself down from anything that could come forward to help you heal, to change the situation, to bring you blessings and magic. All right. So the bottom line with these cards is, listen, you've gone through something really difficult. There could be a reconciliation, but one way or another, there's definitely support for you. All right. Watch those thoughts and keep your eyes open, because the divine has some really interesting ways of bringing blessings into our life. And the trick is always to be open minded about receiving them and not sort of stuck in a place where we've wrapped ourselves up in a lower vibration. It makes it very, very hard for um, the magic to get through. Okay. This is a healing reading. You may not feel like it in the moment, but it really is a reading about healing. Alrighty. Green. Okay. Sure. Three of Swords. Page of Cups. The Six of Cups and the Hierophant. Okay, so you know what? I like this grouping of cards. It in some ways it's not all that different than the Rose Quartz, the one I just read, because the Rose Quartz also dealt with sort of a sadness of the heart. Um, and that's what the Three of Swords tends to represent. It is um just a difficult time, right? It could represent heartbreak. It could represent a separation, being away from your loved ones. Perhaps this holiday season, you're not going to be able to get together with friends and family as you typically do. But there's definitely an energy of disappointment or sadness with this card. But the Page of Cups is bringing you good news. She always brings good news. And I love that the Six of Cups follows her, because the Six of Cups is about a time before now, and very often it will represent hearing from somebody from your past. It will be about reminiscing, looking through old photo albums, listening to old music from a different era of your life. um, it is about reminiscing, but in a good, heart opened, really gentle way. The card always has a lot of joy and laughter and happiness connected to it. And the Hierophant is, the Hierophant represents the highest of organizations, but it also represents a mentor, somebody who could come in and bring some clarity or understanding to a situation. I'm not sure, honestly, kind of what to make about this, because it feels as if whatever the heartache, whatever the trouble is or the disappointment is, it really does feel like things are going to take a turn for the better. And perhaps there is somebody who can step in to mediate or moderate or explain, clarify, help the healing process begin. But this is a healing grouping of cards. This is about a healing energy. And with the two center cards you have here, I can't help but feel a little bit optimistic. It just feels like things ultimately are going to work out. It may very well be that you need to take a stroll through the past in order to get some clarity about what you want the future to be. But there's a nice energy to this. This is not, um, it's about recovery. Okay. And blue. What do we have here? All right, we have the Queen of Pentacles, Six of Swords, Two of Wands, and the Fool. All righty. So, okay. So, Queen of Pentacles, right? This is that feminine energy that is capable. She she has worth and she knows her worth. She's the one that you turn to when you got a whole bunch of stuff to do, because she's the one that's going to help you get it done, right? She's just organized and she's on it. And again, very earth energy, right? So you're looking at what? Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. All right. Six of Swords and the Two of Wands, interesting together, because the Six of Swords very, very definitely talks about going into smoother waters, removing yourself from turbulence or troubled or difficult times, and moving into a calmer, more peaceful, more gentle sort of future. The waves have stilled, everything is calm now, and you're able to move forward. The Two of Wands is a card about sort of an initial accomplishment being achieved and kind of waiting for the next step. Sometimes it can talk about a partnership, but I like the energy of this, right? Because it's like recognizing your capabilities, lifting away from difficulties and moving into a period of time that is just calmer, bringing with you the beginnings of a project or being open to, um, you know, a partnership that can help keep those waters calm and keep things moving forward. And the Fool is about leaps of faith. When it comes right down to it, it's about a leap of faith. It's about, okay, I'm going to plug my nose and I'm going to jump into the deep end. But before I do that, I'm actually going to look over and make sure that there's water in the pool. Okay. So it's about a leap of faith, but that is cautious, that is careful, that, you're not driving yourself off a cliff somewhere because you haven't taken the time to sort of, um, like plan the next move, look at the next step or stage. You're not running away from these difficult times because you've already gone into smoother, calmer waters. So it's about a new start, a new beginning. And that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Um, it's just a lovely sort of energy. You're just simply moving from a harder time into something smoother and a new beginning that definitely feels brighter and lighter and more to your liking. All righty. Again, for those who are celebrating Thanksgiving in the United States, happy Thanksgiving. Um, and for the rest of yous, have a good week. I hope that the readings today brought you some clarity. And I look absolutely forward to seeing you next week. Don't forget to comment and push that the like button. It helps a lot, and I love reading your comments. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.